like anywhere between 25 and 35.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's really no sweat off their back.
No, it's not.
Just some extra revenue for them.
Yeah, they just
and
provide
it's just enough for you, because sometimes free programs are. I feel like anytime anybody gets anything for free, they don't put as much value into it, and when there's not value in it, they tend to not follow it as closely.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they'll hop from this program to this program to this program, all these different free programs.
Yeah.
When there's like no rhyme or rhythm to it
Right.
anymore, because they're just doing 4 different people's programs haphazardly. So, $25, not really any sweat off your back.
It's not.
And it's enough to kind of be like, this is worth something to
Right.
me, and this is what I'm going to follow. This is a group I'm a part of.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the community too that follows that.
Yeah.
So, if you ever have an issue or you need to reach out, one of the team leaders there will help you, even if you're an online member. So you're never alone, or you don't have to feel like you can't ask questions. And Jordan does an awesome job of having an Instagram page where he'll post explanations or reasons why he chose to program certain movements, which I found extremely helpful when I first went remote. So being able to just follow him and see, and they're always really funny and motivating workouts. Like, they're having fun doing it.
He sounds like a
and
cool
it's just,
guy.
Yeah, like
I'll meet him someday. Yeah.
you just after watching some of their stuff, and even Jessie, she's got a great Instagram too, where she posts. She mainly programs the core workouts, which are done on Wednesdays. So the way they have their program set up. There's a core, they call it core crusher. It definitely is.
But intimidating.
Yeah, so on Wednesday, she programs that workout, and she'll post videos of her training, and, they've got their kids train with them, and it's just a positive vibe you get from that. So even though, the online program may be cheaper, or it's not, you're not forking over $100 for this program,
right.
You still have that desire to just want to be a part of that because their community is so great,
Yeah,
So,
I actually want to kind of talk about that a little bit, because for me, the online programming scene and the social media scene are still pretty foreign to me.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? And I don't really understand the platform. Is it does he post on a website and then you guys follow that off a website, or does he post in a private Instagram group that you guys have to pay
for the workouts?
For the workouts,
the workouts are on his website.
On his website,
on the actual gym's website. There's a password, and you are issued that password, and you're able to access them, and they'll have all 4 written.
I see.
So,
and he also has the separate social media following.
Yeah,
and that's
if
kind
there's
of
a new movement, because we do some crazy movements sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but if there's something new that he's trying, he'll do a great job of getting on there, explaining the movement, showing how it's done. That way, as an online or an online member athlete, you don't just sit in your garage thinking, well, I don't know how to do this.
Right.
What is this? And sometimes he'll name stuff that isn't the actual name, so you Google it, nothing comes up.
Yeah.
So it's been really good, him having that. And then, also too, if I have additional questions, I can always message them. They're really good about responding. Is
the Instagram thing that he has, is that a private group, or is that open to everybody?
No, it's just his personal, I think it's m.f.mindset.
Okay.
So Militia Fitness Mindset. That's his IG handle, and I think it's public, so anybody can go and look at it. And he just will post his videos. Some of them are just of training, some of them are explanations, and just real positive, kind of motivating things.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I'd like to do some more of that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I would say it takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
but the return, I think, especially for him, is great. Being able to not just have members, but retain them, even if they cannot stay in the area.
And he has a bigger impact.
Yeah,
because somebody clicks on your, Militia Fitness handle or whatever,
Yeah.
and that might somehow lead them over to his,
Right.
But so now that I kind of understand the platform, the question I was kind of going to get after was, we talked about how you're still maintaining this relationship with this group who's miles away. And I think that might be getting bigger and bigger as the years go by, where we see more and more people doing these online programs. Do you feel that by you posting on social media these workouts or your PR attempts or your PR successes, that do you kind of feel more connected instead of not posting? So for example, let me put out a scenario. You and I are both following Militia Fitness programming, and you're posting, videos of you doing this program and I'm not. Do you feel like maybe you would feel more connected because it's this online accountability where people are seeing oh yeah, Nikita did this today, but John over there, nobody knows what John's doing. Is he just sitting on his couch, or what's he doing? Do you feel like you have more of a connection.
Of course. Especially when I first moved and I was in season, peak season. Oh yeah, absolutely. If I posted something, or if I hit a big lift, or I hit something that was just really, really good, they always would reach out and comment, you know, oh, awesome job, awesome lift. They'd repost. Yeah. Hey, this is one of our remote athletes, and they'd repost my video. And yeah, of course, I feel super connected when I post, and I'm able to not just receive that feedback or that encouragement, but to give it as well. So, you know, athletes who are starting their sport, their career in a new sport. I mean, there's tons of militia fitness athletes who are just starting up powerlifting and strongman and are still trying to find their groove, and being able to see me and even my struggle, not just my successes, but my struggle with training and how I can have a bad day, or I can have a great day, or I can crank up the music and dance around a little bit and just have a good time. Like, it doesn't have to be head down, eyes forward, you know, grind all the time, because that's wearing, you know? So my upbeat kind of, I'm intense and I train with an intensity, but I also am realistic to, that's fatiguing if you only have that. Right. So you have to have fun with it and be, you know, just positive and come out of the gym. And I want to leave a gym. I want to be tired. I want to be a little bit sore. I want to probably have some, you know, my face is kind of cramping from laughing a little bit. You know, like, I mean, this is the stuff that I want to achieve every day. I don't want to walk out of a gym and just be in a worse mood than I was when I went in. Yeah. You know, that's not what I want. No, either. It's not. Yeah. So with that social media connection, I feel like I was giving and receiving, and yeah, I definitely feel more connected to the community that way.
You know, I've never thought about that, but it makes sense. Like, just thinking about it, it makes sense that by you putting yourself out there, it's not just them, you know, giving to you, it's you giving back to them, and also you giving to fellow, you know, community members in that militia fitness program. Because just like you said, and one of the reasons I want to reach out to you and talk today is because you're so genuine on your Instagram. You know what I mean? We're going to see those successes and failures, the good days, the bad days, and I think that's important, because you don't want to just see the person who's just, it's cake every day with the cherry on top. You want to see, you know, some people are having tough days, and it's more relatable that way. And that way people don't feel ostracized either when they're like, am I the only one that feels this way? You know what I mean? Am I the only one that didn't hit a PR today? Am I the only one that, you know, just felt like garbage today, or what have you, or, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really important to do that. Never thought about that. So you have this, going back to the turning point now that we're kind of talking about the business, let's get more into like you as an athlete. So you get done with the strongman competition. You have this turning point where you're like, this is the direction I'm going to go. And you find your way out here into Wichita, and you start doing your remote programming out here. What has it been like? Because what was the girl's name that you trained with?
So
Kimmy, was it?
My training partner?
Yeah, Kimmy.
Yeah, Kimmy was my training partner. Yeah. Through a lot of it.
What was it like at first? I'm assuming you didn't have a training partner like at all at first, right? Coming out here?
Coming here?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What was it like going from having a training partner like Kimmy, who really, you know, helped push you, to no training partner? Was that a big mental obstacle for you at all? Or
it was. I think it was an obstacle that in return had a huge investment. So it was tough. When I first started, I really, really had to just focus on my mindset, knowing that, okay, this isn't going to feel right, or this isn't going to feel great, because maybe the energy level is solely based on me. You know, I'm the one who's bringing this energy level to this garage, to this training space, to wherever I was. And it was tough, but through a short period of time, I would say I was able to find more drive within myself. And that's when I kind of, again, I spun it to the positive. Okay, here I am. This is my time. This is my gym. This is my workout. And I dictate how great it's going to be.
You took full ownership.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, I was able to push as hard as I want. I was able to, you know, train at whatever time I wanted. You know, I didn't have to go at a certain class time, or I didn't have to be. So I used the things that I lost, and I used them as an advantage. So I think that my development as an athlete really took off when I started training alone. Yeah. Because that's when, because when you compete, there's somebody there to hold your hand. I mean, strongman is a solo sport. It's me and it's the event, and nobody's going to lift it for me. No one's going to be there to hold my hand.
Yeah.
And for the most part, in a competition, you don't really hear anybody screaming for you anyway. I mean, it's tunnel vision.
Yeah, you're 100%
Yeah, you're
focused,
100%
dialed in.
like, let's go.
Yeah.
So that is how I approached training every day. I thought every day is an event, and I'm going to train like I compete. And so I just took that and I kind of spun it a little bit more. I was a little bit more serious. When you're able to focus 100% on you, you can really dig, you know?
You can. Yeah.
You can take as many attempts as you want. You can, listen to whatever music you want, however loud. And I really just pushed. And I think, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, I'm from Florida, so the weather was huge. I mean, it was huge for me. Yes, like, I remember some of the days I would call Jordan or text Jordan, and I would say, hey, you got some sled drags today, but it's snowing. And he would say, and?
Yeah.
Like, what? Well, it's cold. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm like,
easy
all right.
for you to say, Jordan.
Yeah. I'm like,
you're in Florida.
Cool. I'm like, okay, cool. So, I mean, yeah, man, I remember that day, and I had my wool, and then I had my sweatpants, and then I had my, like, oh gosh. And I'm like, well, I'm wearing my hiking boots too, because my feet are freezing. And I was doing sled sprints or something like that. And I remember that Instagram post that day, because I posted, well, I don't know if I got anything out of this workout because my legs are numb and my feet are numb, but I completed it. And so learning when it was cold, and was really unfortunate for my sport is that when I was training for Worlds, it was during the winter months. Mm-hmm. So I'm training for the Arnold, which is in March, through November and December and January. And I remember I'd be making my pre-workout, getting, all my intra-carbs ready. And I would tell myself, okay, Nikita, cold is a mindset. If I tell myself that I'm cold, I'm going to feel it. But if I don't, then I'm not. So I would just tell myself, I'd have to like pep talk. I'm like, all right. I go out in the garage, and I mean, it's painful.
Yes,
it was painful.
Yes.
So, and to be there alone and having to do that, I mean, yeah, it's just, you had to dig.
I know what that feels like, because I've been there. We do a lot of sled work here, and a lot of my workouts in the past have been alone.
Yeah.
And I think for those that are listening, maybe if you've never been there, I don't think you understand how much like mental and personal discipline that takes, because no one's going to know if you don't do
right.
it.
Yeah. No,
and you're just
know.
like, then, it's out. It's not indoors. It's outside. Mm-hmm. So it's super cold. The wind here in Wichita gets crazy, as probably many of you know. And it's just like, and I don't know if you were doing like intervals or what, but like I remember there was one day I was out there, we had to do like 5 rounds of the sled push, and it was just snowing. It was super cold and windy, and I did like 2 or 3 intervals, and between intervals I'd come inside eventually because it was just so cold. And I just like, I don't want to go back out there. I don't want to go back out there. Let's just take the sled inside, and just made myself do it. But it takes a toll. It takes a mental toll, because you're just like, if there was just one other person there, it would have been twice as easy, because it's like you can laugh
and
about
joke about it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing that you and I both said laugh first. That's exactly what you do, is you laugh about it first and make jokes about how miserable this is. But when it's just yourself, at least for me personally, it's a lot easier to become negative when it's just yourself. Because when you have a buddy, you can talk about it and be like, oh yeah, that sucks, and then someone makes a funny joke and you laugh. But when you're just there by yourself, like, man, this really sucks. This really sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
And for me, because it was the peak of my training, and to me, every day counted. I only had a short period of time, especially when I dropped weight classes and I had to allot that time for weight cutting. It even cut down my training even more. So for me, if I had a day like that and we were out doing sleds, it's snowing, it's windy, I'm freezing, I felt like you just always feel like you don't get as good of a workout. There's something in your brain that says if you sweat, you're getting a good workout, And so I would go into kind of a panic mode and think, oh, it's so cold, I'm not training well enough, or I'm not training to the standard that I should.
Right.
And this is a setback. And I had to really adjust my mindset there. And then, of course, I found Valhalla Barbell Club pretty soon, and I I was like, oh, this is like a heaven sent because they have a heater. So I was able to do my sled drags and my carries and my yoke runs and all of the